Hey, Kevin Breen here with Garage Boxing. We're here with up-and-coming promoter Steve Bash of Bash Boxing, and the guy has Glendale Glory 2 going on tomorrow night. We're here at the weigh-in at the Outback Steakhouse in Glendale. Hey, exciting stuff, man. We got the weigh-in here. Everyone's excited. This is something that hasn't happened in Glendale for a while, and and there's not a lot of exciting fight promotions in Los Angeles so much. Are you excited? Or what's happening?
No, we're very excited. I mean, we're excited that this is our second show in Glendale. Before our first show, there was actually a law that banned boxing in Glendale, and that was over 60 years. And so when we came to them a couple years ago and said, hey, we want to do a show here, they said okay, and then they found this law from the 40s that basically said there's no professional boxing. So it took us a while to convince the city council to allow us to do a show. We did our first show a couple months ago, and our second show now we have ESPN, which is awesome.
I was going to say, a lot of guys have been doing shows for a while, and then they don't ever get on ESPN. So how did you work that?
Well, I think part of it is having a good main event fight like Roman Karmazin versus Miranda. Both guys are world-class fighters, top 10 in the world. Both guys have been at the top of their games and in big fights. Roman's a former world champion. In fact, this fight determines who's going to be the next challenger for.
It's an eliminator fight.
It's an eliminator bout, right? So the winner of this fight fights the champion, who's in Germany. And Roman fought an eliminator bout before, so I've been with Roman for about 5-6 years now. So that helped, and also just a lot of just
persistence.
Persistence, yeah. I mean, literally, I can probably show you emails that I've sent to Doug Lokery from ESPN from about a year ago saying, hey, I can do this fight and I can do this fight, and it was good timing. They called and they said, hey, we've got our season premiere. It's January 8th, which wasn't an ideal date. It was less than 5 weeks out, but beggars can't be choosers. So right. We took the date, we put the show together, we got a pretty good card, so that's how it happened. In some way luck, in some way, my partner Karan Haratunian, he's actually the one that really got this law passed.
Pretty instrumental.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is I think his 5th or 6th show that he's done for a very young guy. I think he's 27 now and former fighter, UCLA graduate, and. He started getting a reputation, and we started getting a reputation of really putting on smooth, good shows. Fighters are happy, their managers are happy, people that come out to the fights are happy, and I think that kind of spreads through the boxing community, and so here we are.
Now, what's going to make you happy for 2010? I mean, the sport of boxing has seen this resurgence. There's lots of great fights and fighters out there. Like on a local level here, like what are you looking to? You starting in Glendale? Are you going to take over LA, or what's going on?
Well, ideally, Glendale's a good start because it's a big Armenian and Russian community. We're familiar with Glendale. We have good sponsors here that support us. Outback Steakhouse, they throw the weigh-in, they feed all the fighters and things like that. And ideally, I mean, two things. One is I just like to have more people enjoy the sport. I mean, I personally believe probably hockey and boxing are the two sports that just watching live is like nothing, on TV. And because of that, I think, hopefully a lot more people come out. We're trying to make the tickets as affordable as possible, because I think if you introduce them to the sport or reintroduce them to the sport, the people that haven't been to live shows in a long time, and just build like a franchise here in Glendale or in other areas, then more people will come out. Other than that, 2010, obviously I want all my fighters to win. So I got 2 fighters both on ESPN, Roman and Andre Fedosev, the 20-1 heavyweight prospect, 22-year-old kid. And so, it's going to be a good night, if their hand is raised in victory. So. And
do you have anybody else that's like going to, maybe replace them as time comes on that you're excited about? Maybe the younger prospects of yours, or like, you got anybody that's coming up like that you're excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, a couple fighters that were supposed to be on that card for one reason or another fell through because we couldn't find opponents or anything else. Mostly Russian fighters. Most people don't know, but I speak fluent Russian, and I represent Fedor, the MMA fighter, and other Russian fighters.
Attorney by trade.
Attorney by trade, yeah. And we had the fighter that was supposed to be on this card. His name is Habir Suleimanov. He's 9-0 with I think 7 knockouts.
What's his weight?
118. He was actually in line to fight for the NABO title against a kid by the name of Andre Wilson. So he would have been the co-feature on ESPN, but he had an injury in training, so he fell through. Another fighter, I'm drawing blanks now, but Max Gazer, 7-0, welterweight, also was supposed to fight. He got a cut, and he's kind of. He's a good-looking young kid, and he's got a nice girlfriend right now, so he doesn't know how much fighting he wants to keep doing. So
the future looks bright, though. It sounds like.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, we're trying to, a lot of people feel comfortable with maybe dealing with their own. So a lot of the Armenian, a lot of the Russian fighters. Karn's got some great Armenian fighters that he's moving along. Another guy who we just couldn't find an opponent for him because his last 2 fights he just knocked out guys cold. Art Hovanessian, he's 10-0.
Right.
And just, you know, the price goes up for the opponents, and in a lot of club shows, you know, that's tough to do when the opponents see somebody on TV or see, you know, that he fought on a Golden Boy card or something like that, and
budget's limited, so
yeah. So, but you know, we'll keep developing fighters and hopefully keep having good shows.
Now, as a boxing fan, because you're a boxing fan too, like, are you excited about, you know, well, everyone was excited seemingly about Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather. It looks like it's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got Berto and Mosley, you know, you got the Super Six, you got the Klitschko's and the heavyweights. Like, what's exciting to you about boxing as a fan?
Well, as a fan, I mean, you mentioned the Super Six. I think the Super Six is one of the greatest things that has happened to boxing since I've been in the sport, even before that. The way that Showtime is actually producing it and advertising it and bringing it all together, I'm really excited. Plus, the fighters are really great. You know, that's something that I really look forward to. And of course, the mega fights are great too. You know, Pacquiao and Mayweather. Hopefully it does happen. I believe it will. I just believe that.
If and when it happens, who do you like, baby?
Well, it'll be what?
If and when it happens, who do you like?
You know, I love Freddie Roach. You know, he trains Roman. He trains a lot of my fighters. He's always been very generous with Dmitry Krylov, world champion. He trained him. You know, we spent a lot of time in Moscow and with my wife and everything else. So I just make it and plus his track record recently, I make it a thing to not go against a Freddie Roach fighter, no matter what. And so as a fan, I root for Pacquiao,
right.
And I've seen him at Wild Card and everything else. As someone that just, you know, steps out of his body and watches boxing, I mean, Mayweather's real tough. I mean, he's technically the best boxer that probably has ever stepped in the ring. His defense is tremendous. He's naturally a much bigger fighter. So those are one of those fights where I basically say, you know, I don't want to root for anyone or anything else. I just want to watch the fight, enjoy it, and know that millions and millions of people are watching it as well all over the world and just kind of enjoying the fight. And
they're going to get excited and say, when's the next fights in my neighborhood? And that might be going to a show that you put on.
Yeah, hopefully that's what we're aiming for. I mean, the whole thing is to, you know, if somebody shows up to Glendale tomorrow night, our goal is to make sure they show up again. And you know, a guy came by today to the arena, and we happened to be there setting up, and I don't know, he's probably 60 years old, and he hadn't been to a live boxing event in 40 years, he said. And that's what I like. And he was really excited to go, and God bless him, may live to 120 and keep coming out to the show. So that's the main thing, is to really, you know, I brought a big party to the Klitschko fight. That was at Staples Center, you know, a couple months ago. And yeah, Klitschko Areola. And these were people that had never been to a boxing event. And I love to see their reaction, because I think it's a beautiful sport. It's an art. And I think that when people see that live and see good fights, and you know, Klitschko Areola, you can't say it was the greatest fight in the world, but the excitement, the camaraderie, the glitz, the glamour, you know, that's something that I want to try to introduce people to, and hopefully economically, you know, we can keep doing it for a long time.
You can see the fight on TV, ESPN or HBO or pay-per-view, but it's not like being there, right?
It's not the same. I mean, just the adrenaline and the way that your juices get flowing, it's not the same. I mean, my first experience at a live boxing event was actually the Klitschko-Sanders fight many years ago at Staples, right? But it had been for a while, you know, and I started working with Roman as an attorney first, and then his first fight that we were working together, I was in his corner, and I mean, that's it. I'm hooked. You know, it's not like anything else. And the great thing about these shows in Glendale, there are 1,000 seats. There is no bad seat in the house, no matter where you're sitting. And so, you know, like I said, and I feel the same way about hockey, but boxing, you know, when you're there live, it's like nothing else. Right. Especially with these big heavyweights that we got fighting. I mean, those guys are gonna punch.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Lionel Butler, man, but
you know,
his arm is the size of my thigh.
I was wondering why they're even doing the weigh-in. It's like they're both big guys.
Yeah. Well, one of the guys looked at me. He's like, "Do I have to take my pants off?" Not really, but you know.
Hey, take it easy, you know. Yeah. So, hey, look, this is a guy, a local boy, made good. We appreciate him taking the time talking about the exciting card that's coming in. Again, Glendale Glory 2, and I'm sure there's going to be stuff in the future. Hey, man, good luck.
Thank you very much. You got it.